Hello everyone, today we're learning about Mציעא Daf Hayomi. We're going to start from Chof Daled Amud Beis from the Mishnah at the bottom. It says a Mishnah. Veilu Chayv Lachriz. The first Mishnah in Eile Mציעא started Eile Mציעא Shaloi. And this is the next Mishnah saying where you have to be machriz, when do you have to give it back. Motza Peris Bekeli. If you found fruit in a basket, or Kli Kimoishu, or just a basket. Mois Bekis, money in a wallet, or Kis Kimoishu, or just a wallet. So a keli stam and a wallet stam has a simin. Tziburi peris, a pile of peris. Tziburi mois, a pile of mois. Shloisha matber zu al gavzeh, or three coins one on top of each other. Krichois b'rshus yochid, bundles, small bundles of wheat, but not in a public place in rshus yochid. And the simin is or mokoim, or it has a simin. The kikro shel balabayis, bread that comes from a private person that has a specific way how it's made, so it has a simin. The gizet semer lekuchim in beisa umon, and wool that's taken from the artist's house, it has a special look to it, so it has a simin. Kadi yain v'kadi shemen arelu chayav lachriz. Barrels of wine and barrels of oil, you have to be machriz. Says the Gemara diuk, tama de motza peris bekeli, umois bekis. The reason why you have to give it back is you found the fruit in the keli, or the money in the wallet. Or keli ulefon of peris, kis ulefon of mois, or shaloi. But if you found money in front of a wallet or fruit in front of a basket, you could keep the fruit and you just have to be machriz on the keli or on the wallet. Says the Gemara, tanina lehod toner rabbanon. We have a brisa to prove this point that we were just medayik from the Mishnah. Motza keli ulefon of peris, he found the keli in front of it peris, kis ulefon of mois, a wallet, and in front of it money. Aryeh shelo, you could keep the peris and the money. But if miktsosam bakeli miktsosam al gabe karka, if a little bit of the money is in the wallet and a bit's on the floor, a little bit of the it was a fruit. It was some of the fruits in the keli and some is on the floor. Miktsosam baki, some are in the wallet and some of miktsosam al gabe karka, and some of the money is on the floor. Chayav lachriz, you need to be machriz, because since there's some money left in, some fruit left in the basket, so we say it came from the basket. So that's a raya to what we said before, what we indicate from the Mishnah, that if it wasn't in the keli, it was all on the floor, you could keep the peris and the money, but you only have to give back the keli. Veriminu, we have a kasha from a different price. It says motza dover shein b'simin, b'tzad dover sheyesh b'simin. You found two items. One has a simin and one doesn't have a simin. Chayav lachriz, you need to give everything back. And you give everything back to the guy who gives a simin. But if bobals, and that's a kasha we said, because we said before that if it's outside the keli, you could keep the money. Bobal simin continues the price of bobal simin v'notel shelo. He came bal simin and said, "Oh, only the item with the simin is mine. The other item is not mine. Zochalo, the one who found it, you zoichen it b'dover shein bo simin, he could keep it." So we heard it's a kasha on what we said, the diuk from the Mishnah and from the the brisa that we brought. If you found fruit that doesn't have a simin in front of a keli that has a simin, you could keep the fruit to yourself. Said the Gemara a few terutzim. Omer azvid, teretz number one. Loi kasha, ha bekuva v'kisna, ha betzina v'peri. There's two types of things. When you have, let's say, flax with a keli, so flax, and you found the flax outside the keli, so if there's no flax left in the keli, it shows I didn't come from this keli, because if it would come from this keli, you'd have some flax left in it, and that's why you could keep the flax to yourself. But when you have a basket and peris, so the basket and peris, then the peris all can fall out. So even if nothing's left in the basket, you say that the peris come from the basket, and you have to give it back to Bala basket. And Tosis asks on it that the Lechur in the Mishnah it says pears, and it doesn't really make sense. Ein Shon. Rav Papa Omar says a new teretz. Hava tzina v'peri. They're both talking about the basket with fruit. V'loi kasher. Hodish daiber midi. Hodiloish daiber midi. In the Mishnah that we medayik, that if you found the pears outside, you could keep the pears. That's when there's no pears left inside. But in the brisa way, you found something with a simin next to something without a simin, it's torn about. It's talking about where some fruit were left in the basket, and that's why we assume they came from the basket. But if it has nothing left in the basket, enochanami, the din is Aryeh shaloi. Veiboy say teretz number 3. Both the brisa and the other brisa or on the Duke from the Mishnah talking about where there's nothing left in the basket. In the case where you have to be machras, is talking about where the basket is, the entrance of the basket where it's open is towards the Paris, so it makes sense that the Paris came out of there, and that's why you need to be machras. In the Mishnah and the first brisa, the loy mahadri api legabi peri, that's not in the direction of the fruit, so we say it's nothing to do with each other. V'ibo is saying teretz number 4. Both are talking about where there's nothing left inside, and also the basket is towards the Paris. One case is talking about where there is a lip, like an edge on the basket, and therefore, if there's no, even though that the Paris are towards the basket, since there's no Paris inside, and there's a ledge, if it would fall in from the basket, some Paris would stay inside because of the ledge. In the other case, it's talking about where there's no edge for the basket, there's no lip to the basket, and therefore we could assume that the fruit came from the basket, and the reason why there's no fruit in the basket because there's no lip, and therefore everything fell out, and therefore you had to be machras also on the Paris. We learned in the Mishnah, Tzibur Paris, Tzibur Mois, piles of fruit and piles of money. Shmas Mino, meaning have a simon. What's a simon? What's the simon that the person brings? He says it was so many money, it was so many piles of fruit, so many piles of money. So the Gemara, no, Tony Tzibur Paris will be Guris Tzibur, a pile of Paris, and therefore the simon, it won't be the amount, it will be the simon, it will be the mokoim. So the Gemara, okay, so Shmas Mino Mokim have a simon, so let's bring a raya, the Mokim's a simon. So the Gemara, Tani Tziburi Paris will be doichen, know that the simon is the amount because it's piles, a few piles on the minion, the simon is the amount of piles. So therefore we can't bring a raya, not the Mokim is a simon and not the minion is a simon, you'll always be doicha, but we could see from here that at least one of them, or Mokim, or minion is for sure simon. We learned in the Mishnah, Shloisha matbeis el gav there, 3 coins, one on top of each other. Omar v'Yitzchok migedlo, v'usha asuim kemigdolim. So Rav Yitzchok, my father learns that Rav Yitzchok migdolo means, the Rav Yitzchok says it means migdolo. It means that when it says Shloisha matbeis, it means that it's like a tower. And then the Gemara explains v'usha asuim kemigdolim, and that means that it's like a proper tower, that now the lower coin is like a pound coin, or let's say a 50 pence coin that's very wide, and then on top of that it's a pound coin that's a bit thinner, and then on the top is a 5 pence coin that's small, so it's like a tower, it's wide at the bottom and narrow on top. The way I learned is, the din is the same, just I learned that Rabbi Yitzchok Migdalo, that's where he comes from, or maybe that's how they'd call him because he said this Chiddush, and V'usha Asuim Kemigdolim. What's Rabbi Yitzchok Migdalo's Chiddush is that the Mishnah, when the Mishnah says Shloisha matbeis el gavzu, it means that the narrow one, the low one is wide and the top one is thin like a tower. Tani Nami Yochi, we learned in the Brisa the same din. Moto Mois Mufuzoro, someone found scattered coins Aryeh Shaloi. Asum Kemigdolim, but if it's like a tower, Chayav Lachris. Ve'elein Asum Kemigdolim, and what does it mean like a tower? Shloisha matbeis el gavze. 3 coins, one on top of each other. So the Gemara, Hagu for Kasha, L'cher it's a steer in the Brisa. Omer, it's Motzamois Mefuzoros Aryeh Shaloi. If it's scattered, it's Shaloi. Homeshalchis Shalchufe, if it's one on top of each other, but not on the tower, like one fully on the ground, the second one half on the first coin and half on the ground, and the third one half on the second one and half on the ground, like a fallen tower. Chayav L'achris, L'cher that you'll be Chayav L'achris. Ema Sefer, look in the Sefer of the Brisa, Asum Kemigdolim, if it's like a tower, Chayav L'achris, or Meshalchit Shalchufe, or if it's on the floor like a tower, a fallen tower, like we explained, Aryeh Shaloi, L'cher it's a steer, what the din, a Meshalchit Shalchufe. So the Gemara Teretz, Tana, the Brisa, Kol She'im K'Asum Kemigdolim, anything that's not like a tower, that's not literally one on top of each other, then wide at the bottom and narrow on top, in Fuzorim Kole, he calls it scattered. So even Meshalchufi Shalchufi is called scattered, and therefore when it says Mois Mefuzoros, it includes in that scattered Meshalchufi Shalchufi, and the din is Aryeh Shaloi. Amar Rab Chanina, Lo Yishonu Ela Shloisha Melochim. When did we say that you Chayav L'achris? When it's from 3 kings, from King Charles, etc., 3 different kings. Avol Shel Melech Echad, if it's all from one king, all King Charles coins, Eino Chayav Lachriz. It's Aryeh Shaloi. Says the Gemara, Echidon. What's the case? Ida Asun Kim Gdolim. If it's like a tower, Afilu Shel Melech Echod, what I care that it's the same king? Nami. If it's not like a tower, Nami, what I care that each coin is a different king, but it's scattered, it's lost. Nami loy, says the Gemara, Elo itma ochitma. If you learn this is the way you should learn this. Loy shonu Elo shel melech echod ken shloishim lochim. You only chayev if it's 3 coins, one on top of each other, like of 3 kings. What does that mean? Veichidomi. How is that? That's like a tower, because normally a coin of each king was a different size, and therefore 3 kings, all it means is that it's different sizes coins, and the wider ones at the bottom and the narrow one on top. Revichetator, the most wider one at the bottom, Mציעא, the middle size iluvei, on top of the wider one, Vizuta, and the smallest one, Luvei Mציעא, on top of the middle one. The Amrinan, that we could assume, the person put it down there, he didn't lose it. But if it's one king, meaning the kuluke adodininu, like the all 1 pound coins, the same size, even though that they one on top of each other, you don't have to be machres. Why? Maybe they fell out of his pocket and they landed one on top of each other. That's a big chiddush, because in pastures, if you try dropping 3 coins and making them land one on top of each other, you probably have to try that many, many times until it will happen. Rabbi Yochanan argues, even if it's one king, meaning if it's the same size coin, let's say 1 pound coin, one on top of each other, it's considered dinuach, and you have to be machris. Says the Gemara, my machris, minion, why are you going to be machris? That the person should say, oh, it was 3 coins, it was 4 coins. My losso. So if the simin is minion, why do you need 3 coins? I feel a train nami, 2, you should also have to be machris. Omar Ravina Tiva Marchus. Ravina says, he announced, I found coins. So if mirt coins, it means 2. So if you'll have to be machris on 2, a person will straight away say it's 2 and he's going to take it, even though that's not a real good simin. So therefore, for 2, we don't say it's a good simin, only from 3 upwards. Boy Rav Irmi asked a shaila. Keshir, what's the din if it's in a circle? Is that considered a simin or not? Mao. Keshura, if it's in a line. Mao, is that a simin or not? Is that, der chinuach or not? Kechatzuva, if it's like, chatzuva in Hebrew is a tripod, it's like a triangle, like the bottom legs, when the legs of a tripod touch a floor. Mao, is that der chinuach or not? Kesulam, if it's like a ladder, the bottom one, and then on top of the second one is a bit on it, a bit in the air, and the third one is a bit on the second one, and a bit in the air. Is it der chinuach or not? Says the Gemara, Pshoit miochado, we'll bring a raya to one of these cases. The Omar Rav Nachman, Omar Rabba Baravu, Kol sheilu machnis lo kisim b'neim v'noitlom b'basachat chayav la'achriz. If you could put a stick underneath the bottom one and pick them all up, so you chayav la'achriz. So we could see from there that kesulam, the shaila of sulam, that you could do that. You could put a stick underneath and pick them all up. You have to be machriz. But the other cases, we don't know what the din. Rav Ashi asked the shaila, what's the din in Daf Hayomi base? If it's put down like Avnei Beis Kulis, and the Gemara soon is going to explain that it's 2 on the floor and 1 on top of those 2. Is that considered derech chinuach or not? Toshma, let's bring your eye. The Tanya, it says in the Brayta, Motzah Mois Mefuzor, someone who found scattered coins, Aryeh Shelo, you could keep them. Avnei Beis Kulis chayav la'achriz. So we can see clearly in the Brayta, Avnei Beis Kulis is called derech chinuach. Ve'elu in Avnei Beis Kulis. This is how the Avnei Beis Kulis would look like. It was Avodah Zarah. Achas mikan v'achas mikan, 1 over here and 1 next to it, v'achas al gabeim, and 1 on top of them. And we can see clearly in the Brayta, that's called Braysa, it's considered derech chinuach and yichayev la'achriz. Ton Rabbanon, a moitze sela b'shuk. Someone found a coin, type of coin that's called a sela in the market. The motzah chaveroi, and we said the din is Aryeh Shaloi, and suddenly his friend comes to him and tells him, "V'omar shelihu, it's mine. Chadoshi, it was a brand new one. Niroinisi, it was Niron Kesa, was written on it. Shel Melech Ploinihi, it's from King Charles' coin. Loi Omar Klum, he didn't say nothing, and the guy could keep the coin. Veloyoid, and even more so, Elo afilu shmoi kosovo, even if it says on the coin Reuven, and Reuven comes and says it's my coin, Loi Omar Klum. Why? The fisher in similar matbea, coin doesn't have coin. The Omar, though we say, Dilma Fuke Afko Minishachrininofa, maybe very good Reuven, it was yours and you wrote in your name, but then you used it. That it says your name on it doesn't mean that it's yours. Matbea is something that's over la soiche, you always use it. You go to the shop, you buy milk, you use it. It's very good. I had $1 million and I stamped all of them, my name on it. But afterwards I use this $1 million. So that has my name on is no siman whatsoever. Says a Mishnah. Motza achar gapo. Someone who found behind a gapo. Gapo is a wall that's made out of like bamboo or wood. Oy achar godo, behind a stone wall. What did he find? Goizlus mikushorim, baby chickens that were tied together. Oy bashvilim shabasodos. Oy found it in the paths in the fields. You should leave them. Don't touch it. We're going to see in the Gemara why. Motzakli bashbo. Someone found something in the ashbo, in the trash. If it's hidden, lo yigaboy. Someone hid it over there. He's going to come take it back. If it's uncovered, he takes it. תודה רבה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהים מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו. If it's uncovered, you could take it and you should take it and you have to do Ashavas Aveda. Says the Gemara, my timer, what's the reason with the Goyfles Kusharim, why lo yigaboim? The Amrinan, we say, Ani inishatzninu, someone hid them, these baby chickens. And if I take them and I want to give it back, the Bailim don't have, there's no simon in these chickens, and therefore he won't be able to get it back. Hilkoch, therefore, you should leave them ados until the owner will come back. And will take it. Ask the Gemara, it says that these chickens were tied. So let's see the way he tied them, that should be a simon, and therefore I should take it and I should be machriz. It's so much that they tied with their wings. That's the way everyone tied chickens together in the wings, and therefore that's no simon the way they were tied. Ask the Gemara of simon, the place where it is should be a simon. Why shouldn't I take it and be machriz and the person say, oh, I lost it over there, and that should be the simon. It's talking about when they're jumping around. They're not in one place. Ask the Gemara, if they're jumping around, no one left them here. They came from the marketplace. I don't know. They didn't come from here. The guy will never find them again. So why it's Aveda? Why can't I take it? And there's no simon. It should be mine. So the Gemara, it could be really came from far away. But there's another tzad to say maybe someone left him here, and he was hoping that by the time he comes back, they'll still be in the same area. So we have here shaila, is if someone put it down to come back to take it or not? Anything that's a suffix, if a person put down or maybe it's lost, you should not pick it up and you should leave it there for the person to come back. If he did pick it up, because Rashi learns lo yachzer, you shouldn't give it back to anyone because there's no simon. And Tosis has a different pshat, lo yachzer, you shouldn't put it back to the place he found it, ayin shom. Motza kli ba'ashpo, we found the keli in the garbage. Mechusa, if it's covered, lo yigaboy. Megula, if it's unveiled, noitin u'marchuz, you should take and do Ashavas Aveda. Veriminu, and I have a kasha from the Bryce. It says in the Bryce, motza keli tomun ba'ashpo. Someone found keli, a vessel, hidden in the trash. You should take and you should do Ashavas Aveda shekei derech ashpo lefanos, because sometimes they clean away the ashpo. So it's a kasha tau mishnah, it's a stira. Omar Zvid loy kasha. The Mishnah is talking about with big like kalim, let's say a basket, something like that. So therefore, it makes sense that someone hid it over there, because it's not something that someone would throw to the trash by mistake. It's a big keli. Where he said that you have to be machriz besakini vehemnik, if you found, let's say, knives or forks, so maybe someone cleaned out his cloth after the Shabbos meal and put it all in the bin, and he didn't realize that together with all the rubbish, there was also a fork and knife there. So if you find a fork and knife, probably a person didn't hide it in the rubbish, he lost it there, and therefore you have to be machriz. As we explained, besakini vehemnik no to machriz, because maybe by mistake he got to the rubbish. Teretz number one. Rapapa ma different teretz. Hava bevekuvi kisi tzuma big kelim. Veloy kasha. All the have a kasha between the Bryce and the Mishnah. Kan ba'ashpa asui lefanois. In the Mishnah, in the brisa, it's talking about where the trash, you're going to clean out this trash and take it to the main trash, and therefore it's going to be, or burn it or something, and therefore it's going to be destroyed, and therefore you should take and be machris. Can in the Mishnah where you say you shouldn't touch it, that this trash is going to stay here for a long time, and therefore we assume that the person hid it there and is going to come back to take it by himself. Says the Gemara, Kasha on this, Ashpa Sulefanois, Avedamidasi, if someone has something hidden in an ashpa that they're going to clear away from here, I could keep it because it's not a good place to hide something. If someone put it there, he doesn't want it because soon this ashpa is going to be cleared away. So why do I need to be machris? So the Gemara, Elo, like we had early on, we had this Rav Papa, I think it was on Chof Daled Amud Aleph, Elo ba'ashpa she'eina asur lefanos, v'nimna chalei alefnoi. So it's talking about the brisa where Yichayv la'achris, it's talking about where it's hidden in an ashpa that it wasn't meant to be cleared away, and therefore the person hid it there, he thought it's going to be here for many years, and then they changed their mind. The city council decided to clean this ashpa and build a big building over there, and the person might not know about it, and I found now something hidden in there, so therefore I take it, and I'm machris to give it back to the person who hid it in there. So the Gemara, okay, we had two turrets, and one that depends what the item is, and one depends if the ashpa is going to be cleared away. Said the Gemara, Bishleim or Papa, I know the Ktoni Shekinderch Ashpa Lefanois. Before a Papa, it fits in very good in the brisa that it says because the ashpa is going to be cleared away, that's why it should be machris. Elul or Azvid, who said the difference is in what type of kelim it is, if it's forks and knife or it's a big keli. My Shekinderch Ashpa Lefanois. Why does it say in the brisa that Yichayv la'achris because the ashpa is going to be cleared out? It should say in the brisa that because it's something that someone loses, it's nothing to do with that the ashpa is going to be cleared out. So the Gemara, a nupshat, it doesn't mean that the ashpo, this pile of trash, is going to be cleared away. It means because it's talking about forks and knives, the Bryce is saying that's a type of thing that you have to be machris and something that it's a derech is to be mifane by mistake into the ashpo, on that you chayav la'achris, but on something else, and ochinami that we take on that a person hid it over there, like kelim, you should leave it there and let the person come back and take his item. Thank you very much. Everyone should have a very blessed day.